Thank you very much for tuning back in. My name is Funny. In my channel, I talk about my houseplant and my Hoyas. Today, it is another episode of Hoya Bloom series. This is a Hoya that I'm so happy that I managed to flower. Or I wouldn't say that because I didn't actually flower it, it flowered itself. So actually I managed to provide the condition that it likes, and then it flowered under my condition. So this Hoya has very small cardboardy with a bit of ruffle on the edge of the leaf. Could you guess what that is? That is Hoya Kanyakumariana. I got this Hoya from M-Thai Orchid last year in around August time. I remember this is a Hoya that I'm very suspicious about. Not that I'm suspicious with the source of the Hoya, I'm suspicious about my ability to keep it alive because it's so cardboardy. It doesn't even look like it's alive at the time when I'm trying to rehab it. And it took a very, very long time for it to push out new growth. I would say it took even like half a year for me to finally see new growth point on one of the node. So without jumping into the flower situation, just the first growth point already took me 6 months until I saw the first growth point after I have received the Hoya. So in my experience, I thought this Hoya is a very slow grower. So I also heard from Miro, from Bessie Pont, saying that this one is a Hoya that always flower in his condition. So I was hoping that I can also see it because the flower itself, it's very small. And then even the flower has that kind of ripple on the edge of the corolla. That's why I want to see it in real life. So today I am so proud to tell you that I managed to provide the environment that it flowered. So start off from the first part. How long does it take for the first peduncle to form? In fact, this flower that you see here is not the first peduncle that it's formed. It actually is the second one. The first one I've seen it formed is back in May. It was actually growing during the time. I was like, oh, every day it grows a little bigger, it grows a little bigger. And then I'm so excited to actually make a video at that time. But unfortunately, that peduncle dried up after a week. And I just patiently waited. And then within a couple of days, there was another peduncle that I have spotted, really, really tiny and extremely short peduncle length, as you can see here in the video. It took around 9 months for the first peduncle to form, but the peduncle that you see now that actually has grown successfully, that took 10 months for that peduncle to grow since I got the plant. So I am really happy that I can show you now. So move on to the second part, the peduncle formation. Interesting enough, the peduncle formation process doesn't take too long. It just takes very long for the first peduncle to form. It took only around a month to have this flower opened since the peduncle has started growing. So in the first week, you can see this peduncle is extremely small, just like a dot. You wouldn't really spot that out if you don't look at really, really closely. And then it took the second week, you can see the bud is so small. Compared to other ones, I would say it's much smaller. It's like a full stop. In the third week, you can finally see the shape of the bud. It's like rounded, but it's still pretty small. However, when it reaches the third week, it just suddenly grows so quickly. The peduncle, the bud formed super fast after it hits the third week, because you see that the third week is like this very small size. And on the fourth week, now you see that it is like a star in like a spider and the pedicel as well shape. So this only took 1 week to grow super quickly from small little rounded one all the way to almost opened flower. So I would say the peduncle formation is between 4 to 4.5 weeks from a small dot all the way to the flower that you see that it opened right now. Then we'll move on to the flower shape.
This one here, you see the flower shape. It has that kind of fuzz on the corolla, and the coloration is creamy white. And when it comes to the corona, you see that the center is a deep purple, but then on the edge of the corona, it is kind of translucent color as well, if you take a closer look. And it has a very nice floral scent. It is not very strong. You have to sniff quite deep in order to recognize it, but I wouldn't say it's a similar type of strong, intense floral scent as like a Nosa type. It's more mild and fresh, I would say. And if you take a look at my finger, the size of the umbel is quite small. It is just like the size of two of my finger, and it looks really beautiful when it comes to how small and delicate it is, and also in combination with the foliage. It's also very tiny leaf foliage, and it is a very cute little one. Another thing that I want to show you, that the flower of Hoya Kanyakumariana reminds me actually of this one on the right hand side. This one is Hoya Mathilde. Obviously it's a very different size, but if you take a closer look of the structure of the flower, it's actually quite similar. Let me try to focus on both of them. There you go. If you take a look at the flower shape, it is very similar. For the corolla, it is also having the kind of fuzzy on the edge of the corolla. And then on the center, you can see the corona has the white in the middle. The white on the edge of the corona as the star shape, and in the middle part you have the very dark kind of purple color. Let's try to focus here. You see that on the left hand side it is Kanyakumariana. Obviously the size is so much different, but it actually reminds me. If you agree with me, comment on the comment box down below. How do you find both of them? Do you find them similar in terms of the structure, or you think it's completely different? I think it's the size different, but quite similar structure. Just a close up over here and here.
Then we move on to the flowering duration. Today is the first day I see the flower opened. I will leave a comment down here to let you know how long does it last for. Hopefully that's long enough for me to see this for a longer time. It's so cute. And then move on to the Peduncle Nature. This one is also a rebuttable peduncle, which means that new bud will form on the tip again and again. So if you manage to have a peduncle grown in your Hoya Kanyakumariana plant, don't cut it off. Just leave it there. It will give you some surprises. It does. It takes time, but it will eventually push out peduncle, and it will eventually push out flower from that peduncle, just like how I showed you now. All right, let's move on to the last part, the care tips. For this one, I think it's relatively easy to keep because I keep it in my room environment, in my living room, which is right next to the south-facing window. It has direct sunlight between 8 to 12 in noontime during summer season. It could take very high light, I would say. It doesn't even sun stress. Because of the cardboardy nature, I believe it could take heat as well even. So I would say if you have a very bright location, just put it there. And with regard to the watering, I don't think it needs specific kind of schedule. It's just like any Hoya that I had showed you here. I had it in a self-watering pot, so it doesn't really need to be watered every 5 days or any time shorter. But I think that's not a difficult Hoya to keep. And with regard to the humidity, is between 25 to 39. It's not raining now, so it's not very high humidity in my room now. So yeah, that's everything I know about Hoya Kanyakumariana. If you have any question with regard to the flowering tip you want to ask me, or if there's any care tip you want to further understand, please feel free to leave your comment down below so that we can discuss further. If you have any recommendation for me to keep this Hoya, also leave your comment down below so then we can learn from each other. If you like this video and then you managed to watch until now, I believe you like this video, right? Then please be generous to hit that like button and share this video with your friends. If you want to see similar content and you don't want to miss out next time when I posted similar videos, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel so I can see you next time. Until next time, I wish everyone is having a great day and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!